All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Sharewise webinar. I'm your host, Sebastian Saracedo. So I'll just be introducing myself today. I'm one of the investment managers here from Sharewise. And today we're joined with Glen Diemar. He's the Managing Director and CEO of Australian Gold and Copper. So yeah, look, I'll be host questions from the floor. I mean, feel free to put your questions through the Q&A function. And look, basic structure of the webinar. Glen will introduce the company, give a bit of a presentation, then I'll ask some questions on my behalf, and then we'll go to the floor, questions, answers from all the participants here. And then, yeah, if there's anything that Glen feels that needs to be discussed, we'll cover that. And yeah, that'll be it essentially. So Glen, welcome, over to yourself.
Thanks, Sebastian, and thanks everyone. Hopefully in your pajamas on this cold day. Australian Gold and Copper, we listed 3.5 years ago. We're a small junior explorer focused in New South Wales. We are pretty passionate about discovery because we know that at the front of the loss on curve, that's where we can all make the most value out of a great discovery. A couple of months ago, we hit some great gold, silver intercepts with some base metals attached to that, bit of copper as well, lead, zinc. And it really shot us up to a great level. We've pulled back, we've raised a bunch of money. So we've got 20 million essentially in the bank now, which is a great position to have. So I really just want to spend this time with you, telling you about what we plan to do in the next 6 months and why we think that's going to have a really good effect on our share price. Should I share screens now, Sebastian?
Yeah, exactly right. That's it. There you go.
Great, guys. Some of you might be a bit familiar with this story, so I'll step through it anyway. This picture is a location shot of essentially where we work. The discovery area is just down there on the flats. We're now up on the hill. And you can see if you're going to build a mine, this is a great place to do it because the closest house is 8 kilometers away. It's one of our landholders' houses, and we're 20 kilometers from a town. We've got railway, gas pipeline going near us, and a large river 8 kilometers to our south. So it's just a perfect location. It's not too remote, but remote enough. So we are, I think I've just gone through those 3 points actually. We're focused in the Cobar Basin of New South Wales. We've got 120 kilometers of strike there in one of the most prolific, well-endowed copper, gold, silver, lead, zinc basins in the world. And we think that's a great mix of commodities going forward. This is a mining district. And if you want to discover and build a mine, it's good to do it in a mining district because everybody there is on board with you and they know how the process works. It's much easier to get permitting. So, like I said, we just had a capital raise. We raised $11 million. $6 million is still pending to drop into our account. Should happen next week. Post-settlement, we've only got 250 million shares on issue. We're around about 80 million market cap, 20 of that is cash, so about a 60 million enterprise value. So we've got lots of scope for growth from here. And there's only 20 million options. Directors are very large shareholders here. I came out of the private company, New South Resources, and brought these projects into the company. We had a strategic investor, GeoZen, come on with us at December last year. They recapitalized us, put in $10 million at a premium of 40% to our share price of the day. Great deal for everyone at the time, and those funds have allowed us to aggressively explore, and we believe that is the catalyst to what has become a great growth story. And I take my hat off to GeoZen. I think that was one of the great share purchases of its time. They've rapidly increased their value, and really just sent the company in a whole new direction. So we've got 4 on the board. Mrs. Yang, our co-chairman, as well as David Richardson, who's also the Magmatic Resources chairman and co-founder. We share an office with Magmatic Resources because I'm just going to bring up the pointer. We share an office with Magmatic Resources because being a junior company costs, the thing that really rips my heart out at budget time is the holding costs in a company. These are just dead costs, rent, everything that goes on with cars and all that stuff, the stuff that doesn't go in the ground. But we share an office. We really try to keep our costs down, and you can see that from our corporate costs from the last 12 months were in the range of $650,000. So we're really tight on our costs. Adam McKinnon here, the champion explorer. He's had about 5 discoveries to his name, and all in and around the Cobar Basin. We're very lucky to have him. He ran Aurelia Metals for 8 years as the general manager for geology and business development. He knows what makes a great deposit in the Cobar Basin. I've been exploring there since 2019 when I pegged this ground in that private company pre-IPO, and I came out of BHP, did my master's there, and lived overseas, worked all over the place, and have been in New South Wales for almost a decade. Comes around quickly. So a couple of things here. We really try and keep our costs down. We share an office with a lot of geologists because we think that is where the think tank happens. Ideas don't come from doing budgets. Ideas come from around the water cooler, making sandwiches together at lunchtime, just having that relaxed chatter, maybe even having a cheeky beer after work. We work out of Lake Cargelligo. It's a small rural community in central New South Wales, just west of West Wyalong. It is a great place. About 1,500 people, strong workforce. A lot of them work in the Evolution's cow mine or up in the Cobar Basin, and they're just a great community. It's lovely now. We walk down the street, we know people by face. The only negative that I've heard so far is that they didn't buy shares earlier, which I think is just a great, our ESG revolves around this town. We want to have a marked difference, positive change on this town, and we think we can really do that. We've sponsored the footy club for a long time. We've hired a whole bunch of great blokes out of that town. So that's where our ESG lies. So New South Wales, we're about 8 hours, 9 hours drive west of Sydney. We all live and work in Orange, which is around the Newmont's giant Cadia mine, one of the largest gold copper mines in the world. We all live around there, and our South Cobar project is just 3.5 hours away. So literally, after working in high sovereign risk countries, Indonesia, Kyrgyzstan, managing risk for me is really important in a junior, and when you're building a company, mitigating those risks. And when our employees, including myself, can pick up our kids from school, kiss them goodbye, and then drive out to the project and be there before the sun goes down in summer, like that for me is low sovereign risk. We can lean on the fence with the landholder, have a conversation in English, build trust. Trust is everything. Build trust with the landholder, and then get on and do your work. Our rate of work is incredibly high, and we have just for example, we have a diesel bowser, multiple diesel bowsers within 20 kilometers of our project. So our driller then goes up to the Patterson. They have to drive 800 kilometers just to refuel. So you think about what that does to your costs. So we can have 365 days here of exploration. We can build trust with the landholders and have a really high rate of work. And I think that is a great point of difference for us. I'm going to be solely focusing on the South Cobar project. So the Cobar Basin is what we call the Cobar Basin. It's a geological basin that is incredibly well endowed. It has been a mining district for 150 years, since 1870, which is even before Broken Hill was discovered. I mean, this is one of the oldest mining basins in Australia, and there are about 25 deposits here that have been mined or are current mines. Any one of those would make us a great company. And this is only 250 kilometers, 300 kilometers long, this Cobar Basin. So 25 deposits, 300 kilometers long. Our probability of actually discovering a great deposit is far higher than, for example, if we were searching for porphyry, those giant low-grade copper gold deposits. There's only 3 of those in New South Wales, 4 if you include Boda. So, you know, our probability here of discovery is far higher, and our chance of success is higher. And I really am, 20-year geologist. I'm now really comfortable in where our project sits at this time in the global economy and global uncertainty. So we've got some great companies through here. Sandfire have been here for a long time. Metals Acquisition Corp just purchased the CSA copper mine from Glencore for a cool $1.1 billion. That is the third highest grade copper mine in the world. It's been mined for over 100 years and has been a modern mine for 50 years. And it's still the highest grade copper mine in the world. Sorry, the third highest grade. So these are spectacular assets. Aurelia Metals grew out of a discovery just like the one we're having now. This Hera mine, which is now mined out. It was about 350,000 ounces at, I think, 4.5 grams gold. And that built Aurelia. It's one of the great. Now they have 5 mines moving into taking dirt into 2 mills, and this is where great companies can be built. Metals Acquisition Corp's peg ground right on our northern boundary. Peel have made a whole bunch of discoveries in the last decade. They are a great explorer on our neighbour as our neighbour, because exploration discoveries in the region are great for all the companies around us. And we saw that when we had our Achilles discovery. We lifted the excitement of the whole district. I'd like someone else to do that for me for our company too. So we went and pegged. We tried to be a little bit different. We went and pegged ground that was pretty much totally underexplored and almost unexplored. This is how you find great deposits. You don't just want one deposit, you want a whole district. So think about like Gold Road or De Grey, or they all went places that hadn't really been explored before. Olympic Dam by WMC. These are the great. You've got to go somewhere new with new ideas, and that's why we saw the same rocks down the south as up in the north. That had been under all the same stress and strain and all that juicy stuff that geologists talk about, but it hadn't been explored. So we thought, let's go there, and we essentially back calculated how you would find those other 25 deposits that I talked about through the basin, and really it's surface sampling, IP geophysics that gives you these nice big red blobs over here. And then drilling. So, these are techniques that have been used for, forever, 50, 60 years for electrical geophysics, forever for, 100 years for geochemistry. So nothing new. We're not proclaimed the smartest people in the world using AI out of our brains or something. We're just doing what works. I just want to keep it simple because that allows us to test a lot of targets quickly and and then have as much rapid success as we can. So zooming in on this area here is this map over here. A little bit complex, but take some time to sit and read all this. It is great. So we've just had our discovery here. Probably actually need to update this map actually. We drilled this one at the start of the year, and then we drilled this one, and we put a fence of holes across this, and we discovered mineralization on the eastern side. I'll take you through that story in a second. We have a whole bunch of other targets because we noticed that you had to be on this one horizon that goes for about 80 kilometers all the way from the north of our project all the way down the south, and it wiggles and weaves its way around. Anywhere on that where you see a cross structure, geologists talk about structures, which is just, you know, earthquakes or like faults in the ground, allows plumbing, the metals to come up. Anywhere that horizon crossed that structure, we see nice targets that geologists get excited about. That's kind of how it works. It's not much more complex than that. It's just then the rest is day to day. So we drilled a fence. We got one drill hole, which looked great, and we thought, that looks better than stuff we've normally drilled. And then so we stepped 110 meters north, drilled again, got the same good looking mineralization, stepped 110 meters south and got it again. Now that takes us to 220 meters of strike. We announced this in April. The gold price went down about $100 overnight, just my luck. We really had no share price growth at all. People in the know got in then because they knew that 220 meters is quite a large distance for these type of deposits. So the CSA mine, the length of their mineralization is about 200 to 300 meters. Federation, the mine that Australian Metals are building 100 kilometers north of us, has a NPV of $380 million. That's like how much the mine should make, the modeling, how much the mine should make over its life. It's quite a small mine, 4 million tons you know, they're only mining 4 million tons over 8 years, and they're going to make $380 million. It's only 400 meters long. So we're thinking, crikey, 220 meters, that's pretty good. So then we stepped out with the next drill holes and stepped back and under, and we got, you know, I mean, these are unicorn drill holes. I mean, these, I was thinking about how to say how excited I was about these. You know, you virtually wake up in a wet dream thinking about these drill holes. So you know, as a geologist, 5 meters at almost 17 grams gold, 1,667 grams silver, 15% lead zinc, and really close to surface too. I mean, that for me is like, you know, put that on my tombstone, please. And then, you know, holes 200-300 meters south of that is at you know, a gram 520 in a roundabout way. If you put that into a gold equivalent, sort of 8 meters at 6-7 grams, but then, you know, you chuck on the copper and the lead zinc as well. 24 meters at, you know, we got a really nice drill hole, our most northern hole, 24 meters at 13% lead zinc with a bit of the other stuff in there as well. Like, that is really, really wide. Step out 24 meters in Cobar, in the mining district, 24 meter wide stope, for example, is a really nice wide stope. And it's only 87 meters down. So obviously we are trying to track that right up to surface and see how close, you know, how close it comes to surface. So some great drill holes in only, some great drilling intercepts in only 12 drill holes. Now we've brought the rig back in. We announced this last week. We've already drilled 6 holes so far, and you know we're pushing it as long as we can. So it's, you know, we've drilled across 800 meters now, and then there's some more blue sky. So In a couple of weeks, we'll have a diamond rig coming and setting up. We might have the 2 rigs drilling at the same time for a little while, and we're really just going to see how big this can get. This is the exciting stuff. Remembering we've got $20 million in the bank, we've got a $60 million enterprise value. There's a lot of potential upside growth from here. I want to show you what the country looks like again, because this is an easy place to explore. It's all privately held ground, and you know, this is our first discovery, let's call it. You know, it's just through easy trees. It's flat. We're about to come up the fence, across the fence, and drill this target 2. Target 2 looks even better than this target here. If you look at the 3 targets together, this one actually looks the most sort of mediocre. So, you know, in the next couple of months, we're going to have drill tested more or less all of these targets, and then I've got some more special stuff to tell you about as well. So this is sort of it in long section, with these kind of more what originally appeared. It's easy to kind of see these in long section, which is this. So that's north there, south there. That is essentially along that line, just giving you an idea of the depth. Still very shallow. I mean, we're only, you know, 150 meters max underground. So we've got a lot of scope. CSA copper mine goes to 2 kilometers. It's the 2nd deepest mine in Australia. Federation goes to 500 meters, 600 meters now. Aurelium's other mine, Peak goes to about 1 kilometer. Perseverance goes to 1.4 kilometers. These are narrow, but really strike extensive. So hopefully we can chase it right to surface, maybe have you know, so we can have a cheaper mining method at the top, potentially, and then chase it all the way down. Okay, so forward schedule: 3,000 meters of drilling, 3, 4. It's going to turn out whatever it turns out. It won't be exactly 3,000 meters, but around about 3,000 meters, over 20 drill holes, and then diamond drilling. That's the you know, the rock sausage kind of drilling that you get out. You hold it up and you get pretty pictures. And there's a reason why we do it. We can drill deeper with diamond holes than we can with RC. These shallower holes. RC really the shallow drilling, diamond are the deeper drilling. So we're looking to extend the depth of our Achilles deposit. We'll try and double or triple the depth, because you can really get down quite deep with diamond drilling. And then we'll also be testing all the other targets as well. The geophysics survey is what I'm probably most excited about, because I like to think 3, 4, 5. Or, you know, what other targets can we deliver to the company over the next month or 2 with this IP geophysics survey? So this is, remember how I said we discovered Achilles from surface sampling and IP geophysics, so electrical geophysics, where we charge up the ground and we get those big red blobs where the mineralization is. So we are doing this massive survey. It's already underway all the way down the structure, which is about another 5K. So we'll have 7 kilometers of IP geophysics showing us where all these targets are all the way down the belt, hopefully. That is a great outcome. We're doing that because we want to see if we're drilling in the right spot. There's no reason to think that we've drilled the best mineralization to date. We know our whole structure is fertile. That means, you know, fertile meaning it has gold, it has silver. We've got, you know, a 7-kilometer structure. Drill holes are only, you know, 10 centimeters wide. Probability is we have not drilled the best mineralization yet. So we're doing this huge survey. It's going to be the biggest of its type in this district, and it's going to be able to show all of us the whole 7-kilometre trend and where to go next, and all that blue sky that comes with that. So really excited to give you that. That's just a couple of photos to show you that, you know, this is real. There's at any time about 10 to 15 people working out on site, multiple contractors, locals. I'm out there a lot. We've got our 4 guys out there. You know, these are real people doing real things on the ground, getting their hands dirty and freezing cold and swatting flies. You know, it's awesome. It's not just pictures in a presentation. It really is real. And you know, if shareholders ever wanted to come out and come for a visit, then give me a call, and you know, we can arrange a site visit, because you know, that's what long-term investing is all about. So just on the IP survey that we completed last year and our targeting from that. So this is a long section along 2.5 kilometers. This is the IP geophysics that we got, these bright sort of pictures. They're kind of in the camera. But the 3D model that we make out of that are these big red blobs, right? And that's where we've perceived the mineralization to be. And this is it in cross-section through this dotted line. I think this is important. So we have hit mineralization above this zone here. And where we've put one drill hole, shallow drill hole, only to 180 meters, into this big zone, and we got some great indications that this big purple target down here is potentially something much bigger. You can see these dots on top, with the hot colors being where our surface sampling has seen the metals in the ground. So we use IP geophysics and the surface sampling to find where the gold and the silver is. And we just keep testing that idea with cost-effective drilling. So we had some great success above this area here, where part of the diamond drilling program is to really get into the guts of this big blob. And like, this thing is so big, it takes up the size of 7 AFL fields. It's just a monster. So we've hit a great target. We've done good drill results, but we think this is a belt that can really deliver a much bigger system. So please come on this journey with us, and you know, we're pretty open and pretty transparent. So you know, we're all invested, and would love you to invest as well. Thanks, Seb.
Thanks, Glenn, for that. It was really in depth. I'm sure the viewers got a good insight there. Just a couple of questions on Sharewise's behalf. So look, obviously your market cap as an explorer is pretty strong. Do you think there's still upside for new investors? And if so, I mean, just a couple of your thoughts behind that.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. You know, you look at what one thing investors should do is look at the discoveries of other companies when they've gone from a seriously broke junior to a major discovery. It goes up and down, but the trend generally is up. And the great discoveries like Sandfire's DeGrussa, I mean, they built a $4 billion company out of that. Sirius Nova Bolt discovery, I mean, I dream about that thing. You know, in their first 18 months, they made 160 millionaires. Mark Bennett, what a legend. You know, these are the discoveries that can just keep on giving. We are a 60 million enterprise value company. For example, that small deposit Federation is an NPV of 380 million. You know, I think there's a lot of upside, and CSA got purchased for 1.1 billion US, with a bunch of royalties and stuff on it as well. So there's plenty of upside.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks for that. And look, obviously, there's a lot going on. Obviously, with the 3 projects, I guess, what are you most excited for? Is there a certain project or anything in particular that really gets you going?
Yeah, I mean, drilling results is great, right? But I love the forward thinking, the blue stuff. So that's where, you know, we bring out that big IP survey, because I don't want to just see 800 meters of mineralization. I want to see the 7-kilometer strike that I can explore, and I want that vision to come across to the shareholders at home, to know, you know, really what we're thinking in the long term. Because I think that's where that blue sky is, and that's where we can really take it from 60 million to whatever million.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
makes sense. Thanks for that. And you know, just to conclude on my end, over the next 6 months, I guess, what do you think are going to be particular growth catalysts for yourself and for the company moving forward?
So the as in like the new, what are the catalysts? So is that what you mean, Seb?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So we're going to have consistent news flow. I appear to be turning into a journalist than an actual MD. Look, we've got about 10 lines of IP to promote, and those results to get through. Look, 20 drill holes and 10 diamond holes, and look, that's just a number that, you know, 30 drill holes is just a number we pulled out of our head to go and get approval from the New South Wales regulator. So that's just what we've got environmental approval for. So we will be drilling consistently for the next 6 months. You know, we got $20 million, and you know, we can't sit on that forever. We've got to create serious value on a per share basis out of that $20 million. So that's why people invest in us. So the drilling won't stop, and the work won't stop.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. Yeah, so look, thanks for those answers. I mean, that gives us good insight. I'm going to open it up to the floor. I do have one question already from a viewer. They say, can you provide a timeline on upcoming results? Should we expect to see the 20 RC holes and the 10 DD holes released at the same time in September?
Probably not. We'd probably have them beforehand. We can't, you know, we've got to think about what materiality means. So, you know, if we're sitting on 5 meters at 17 grams and 1,600 grams silver, 15% lead zinc, you know, we'll probably be somewhat forced to announce that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I think, you know, we'd probably do it more in batches. And you know, I don't think sitting on 20 holes, that's a pretty big campaign. So yeah, I think we'd do it in batches.
Yeah, right.
Thought off the cuff. And look, it's better, often a better way to communicate, to keep the news flow coming. Yeah, I don't want our shareholders to go today and come back in September.
Exactly right. Yeah, okay. Look, any of the viewers, if you have any more questions you'd like to ask, more than happy, me and Glenn, to answer them. Yeah, just wait on that. But other than that, I guess we'll give it a couple of minutes. If not, we'll wrap things up.
So, Seb, do you want to tell us a bit about Sharewise while we're here?
Yeah, of course. So Sharewise, we're a full service share advisory. I'm one of the investment managers here. What we do is we manage portfolios and we give buy and sell recommendations to our clients. And yeah, we work on a membership basis. So we run these webinars with companies, you know, not just in the mining industry, but all over. I guess it's great for us. You know, we get some exposure, and yourself, I mean, you know, prospecting and current shareholders as well. They get a good insight into your company. Yep. And they get a real personal feel. So yeah, I guess it's just a win-win for both of us, really.
Yeah, great.
And then one more question here. Can you give us any indication of how the 6 new holes that you've drilled so far are looking, and are you happy with the progress so far?
Very happy with the progress. And good sneaky question. I'd probably try that one on as well. Look, they've just gone in for assay. We don't have any assays left. Yet. We've really only just started this program. I threw in those photos into the announcement last week of the drilling because I want the readers to understand this is real, and the drilling's going really well. We're moving a 45-ton truck around the bush in winter where we get a lot of rain. So we're bog matting the truck around. It's not easy, but the guys are doing a bloody bang up job. And so the drill holes, we've drilled. You can see from that map, we've drilled 100 meters south and further north as well. So we keep extending it north and south. I can't see gold or silver in the rock, but all indications are that we keep drilling. So just keep an eye on where we step out and what sort of think about it from our point of view of why we put drill holes where we put them, and then it's really just a game now of cat and mouse chasing this. It's a fun game of chasing this along strike, chasing it down. This is a whole new greenfields district. We really don't know much about it because it hasn't, in our area, it's not like a well-endowed a well-explored old district. It's a brand new district, and that's where surprises can happen all the time. So
sweet, thanks for that. We'll just wait for any more questions. If not, I think we might wrap it up. Is there anything that you want to add, Glenn, on your end, just to tidy things up, or anything else that you want to mention?
Oh, just really appreciate the time with Sharewise. It's fantastic East Coast, I think, organisation, isn't it? And it obviously employs a lot of. I don't think I've seen anyone there over the age of about 30. So I love that. It's a new generation style company, and really appeals to the young investor. And I think the younger you are when you invest, the compound interest growth rate. So I really commend what Sharewise have done, love to the two companies to be friends for a long time yet.
Lovely, thank you very much. And last question, we've got one that just come through. When do you expect to have your first MRE?
Yeah, so don't know. It's a good question. There's no real benefit, in my opinion. Prove me wrong, but there's no real benefit to putting out lots of little resource statements along the way. Just explore, find something big, and then surprise everyone. That's sort of, I guess, how I see that other companies have done it well recently, in the last 5 years. If we put out a resource statement of 100,000 ounces or 200,000 ounces, everyone's going to go, so what? Just focus on discovery. That's what adds value. That's my opinion.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for that. I think that should do us. So thank you, Glenn, so much for your time. Really good to just get a more in-depth insight into the company and what's going on. Best of luck with all the projects, and thank you for your time as always. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sebastian. Really good. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you, guys. Cheers. This will be posted on YouTube if you want to sort of have a look at it or rewatch. And thank you, everyone. Cheers.